to bring it back to the design system conversation, would you say there's a lot of crossover between design systems and the design of a typeface? Because when I was in Portugal, the one thing I noticed is they do a lot of stuff with ceramic in signs and a lot of mosaic. There seems to be like a very cultural thing there. So do you see that there's parallels between that, like the process of designing components from scratch and designing typeface? Like you start off with the one, I'm going to keep speaking for you. You start off with a base concept. I mean, how would you describe that? Or am I just finding connections where there isn't really connections?
On a cosmic scale, I think everything is a system. So yes, I automatically think the typefaces are a system. But beyond that, I do think the typefaces are a design system too. And even in the software, like it's encoded there too. We have the concept of components and things like that. And I think similar to the design systems that we work with every day, the starting point for a functional typeface is, what problem is this solving? Like, what is this going to do? Why is this needed? I think that a lot of people get intimidated by that question when designing typefaces because they, it was kind of like a joke during class, like, does the world really need another, like another version of Caslon? Like maybe it does. I don't know. The fact, this is a tangent, but like the fact that you're making it will make it something new. But the same as a design system, like it's something that's meant to address a certain need or role or problem. So like that's the starting point. Then in solving that problem, you start with a limited set of artifacts. So in type design, you often start with lowercase n, for Latin character sets, I should clarify. You start with lowercase NOP and capital HOD, and those are like your control characters, like the starting point. Those are the control characters in your starting point because they represent most of the shapes that you're going to encounter in the rest of the letters. The only one that is absent, I think, is diagonals, but you have your round characters, arches, stems, like all of that stuff is in there. So you start with those characters, start spacing them, and then from there you can build a ton of other letters, and then you start to see how the system is fitting together. And just like a design system also, it's like an iterative process. And also like a design system, there's going to be times where someone is using your font and they need to customize something about it to fit the specific use case. So you're designing with like all of these things in mind. And I would add that like a typeface, from my experience, I think it's hard or even impossible to say that a typeface is ever done, in the same sense that I don't feel that a design system can ever truly be like a static, unchanging forever thing. So yeah, in other words, to put it simply, like yes, I think design, like typefaces are totally design systems.
Yeah. Just to go back even to the beginning of the conversation.
Yep.
It does, like you said, the need for it to exist? Well, I mean, I was going to say, well, does any piece of art need to exist? And I thought, well, you said that there was a difference between art and design, or maybe there isn't.